proceed on this grand occasion, I want to appreciate you for your patience, for bearing with us, even though we are running behind our schedule here as we have in the conference. However, I will try our best to make sure that before we close, we are really kind of be able to strike a balance. But I will not be keeping you here longer than necessary. We are going to be listening to two speakers at the same time, and they will be looking at the people called the TV people. Who are the TV people? So I'm going to be calling on these two speakers. One of them is a research fellow at the University of Surrey. He's at the moment designing a photonic-based water dictation kit. Never mind, I hope my teeth will not fly out with all this grammar. And it's a World Health Organization sponsored project and UK technology strategy, and it's on board of the board of IM research grants. So it will be speaking to us on the TV people, how where he draw the inspiration from, and that is the person of Dr. Barnabas Iki. Before we invite him to the microphone, his co-speaker is Reverend Nick Aguli, who is the group auditor of BP Oil and BP Group headquarters. He's also a deacon in the Archdiocese of Westminster. So join me to welcome these two gentlemen to the microphone, please.
Ayatutu no. Ayatutu no. That's good. That means you're good people. You learn quick. Yes, we are Barnabas and Reverend Nick. So we'll be talking about the tea people. The tea people, as you've heard, are the ones who conceived the idea of Ayatutu Bam, and Ayatutu itself was explained by the secretary. So ours is going to be a brief interactive session to say what the tea people are. Unfortunately, our PCA is not connected, and when I wave the hand, you move to the next slide, all right? Yes, so, next slide, please.
So, the outline for today is we're going to be looking at the origin of the tea people, where they came from, and settled in Nigeria, and geography, and the first encounter with colonial masters, and in the political and administrative setup of the tea ethnic group.
Yeah, we'll go on to culture, occupation, economy, education, and religion. We say, so, okay. Now, where the tea people came from, it is thought that the people migrated from Congo in Central Africa. And then you may have the migration and the path. If you go back a little, you see that, if you go forward, we have moved in wasn't very straight, but we have moved around and found ourselves in central Nigeria. Next slide.
And as we settle down in the central eastern part of Nigeria, you can see the red dotted circle. That is the geographic region where the tea people are now based. In Nigeria's administrative setup right now, that will be Benue State, Nasarawa State, Taraba State, some parts of Plateau State, and even some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, and even the Republic of Cameroon.
Yeah, so we have an estimated population estimate of 7 million, and we are the fourth largest tribe in Nigeria. Yes.
So what we've got there is this is the first report on the existence of the tea people that was published in the outside world. And that was a UK naval officer who encountered the tea people in the mid-19th century, and he reported about his encounter of the chief people to the outside world.
Yeah, so those pictures we got from the archive of the British Encyclopedia. So they present the early pictures that they took of the tea people about 1854.
And in terms of political setup, when the colonial masters arrived the shores of Tivland, the Tiv people did not have any sort of political administrative structure. So they actually, to enhance the principle of indirect rule, created the office of the Tiv, who is the paramount ruler of the Tiv people. And today, the Tiv is assisted by first-class chiefs that are called Ute, who are also assisted by the Tios. Just to say that the Utes are based on local government and the Tios are district heads. And then we have the Ota, who is like the clan head. And then further down we have the tax collectors, or the heads of the tax, which is Tokmate. I think there is a current move now to create another layer called To, of the 3 or 5 major ethnic divisions within the Tiv community.
Yeah. So we have a picture of the paramount ruler displayed on the side there. He is Ochimiri, Dr. Alfred Akawatokula. And down to family level, the Tiv people really have what we call the Oya, who is the elder statesman. We practice this extended family system. So we have the Oya to be the eldest among the extended family, who is actually any contact that is made to the family, any official gathering, like marriages, is being contacted and is the head of the family. So they feed information to the actual managing the Gotas, who is the To, T, or To in T means just king. So he's a paramount of the T people, as it is said.
So in terms of the Tiv people participation in the political landscape of Nigeria, apart from the office of the president and the vice president of Nigeria, the Tiv people have occupied every other position, at every layer of Nigeria's administrative landscape. And as you can see, the Tiv people have produced 2 army chiefs of staff. They've also produced, and of course, the second army chief of staff was also popular for his role liberating Liberia and some of the other West African nations that came under tyranny. General Malu was called ECOMOG commander. That shows the valor and courage of Tiv people. And then, of course, the Tiv people have produced a Senate president, a speaker of the House of Representatives, and several governors.
Yes. Yeah, those are the sort of political leaders and the military, but also economic leaders, people who had a very firm feet to boosting the economy of Tiv people. Notably, every Tiv man who grew up around Congo, we have known Chief Bennett Kofi, who had this long process called Do Well, called the head Kofi. We had Chief Akazo, and even in the other side of the more organized sector of the economy, we had Chief Bernard Bear and Remo, who was the chief executive of the banks. And we had notable Tiv persons who were governors of other states, like he mentioned. And we had educational leaders, we have a lot of professors, which I don't want to mention there. But we try to choose those who occupy positions in universities in Nigeria. We have Professor Daniel Sao, who was the Vice Chancellor of ABU. We have others who was the first Vice Chancellor of Benson University, Professor Bajime, and many others. The current VC is also there, Professor Anga, and many other professors who were Vice Chancellors of notable universities in Nigeria.
And I think there's a bit of a record there that we need to highlight, that there are 2 Tiv women that have been vice chancellors of universities. And I don't But that shows that it's not just us, not just the men, but the women are also and in terms of culture, the culture of the tea people, we are generally very hospitable people. You know, we eat outside. Traditionally, a tea man does not eat inside the house. No matter the weather conditions, he comes outside to eat in the center of the community so that people can come join him. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, we're courageous people, people of valor, as can be seen in our role in various military expeditions that Nigeria as a country has engaged in. And of course, our family system is patrilineal, meaning when a wife is given away to the husband's family, she's given away permanently. She never comes back. Even when she dies, she has to be buried there, changes her name, and she will never come back. And our settlement, because of our agriculture, is
Sparse settlement, yes. When the father has land, he gets back to a male child and is grown, he's sent to settle about 2 kilometers away from the mainland and takes charge of the land that is allocated to him and continue to farm and feed the family. So that has helped a lot and we spread around Nigeria. We also have very good land steps. Maybe we'll have a chance to see from later today. We will have the Swange Dam, which is very prominent in Nigeria. We have rich and strong marriage institutions, and we have dressing. We have our colors are black and white. You can dress, you can come in any form, like you see a turban, is a dress like that. You see other women here, you can come in different forms. But Western dressing can be coded in, and you can bring in black and white, and you can make a very perfect tea dressing. Like you can see traditionally, if you see this man here, he's a well-respected dressed tea man. You see, with those staff of leadership, and that bag there contains a lot of hunting stuff and other things that are needed for the family. And then you can see the modern style tea person there, where a young man there is getting married, and he's have a well-dressed wedding tea traditional gown, and then cakes well made in a traditional way too.
In terms of education, the tea people, since our encounter with the colonial masters, have made giant strides. Today, we've got three full-fledged universities in Benue State, and in Tigland, which again is some sort of a record there as well. And then we have several other institutions of higher learning.
Yes, so let's run it up. We have institutions, we have schools, we have religion, we have predominant Christians, as we accepted education from the Western people, we accepted Christianity, and we built on that. Most of our schools started as missionary, we have public schools, and we have healthcare services, which are also provided by government and by missionary institutions that came to our state as well. Yeah, so our main occupation was we started was farming. We do farm yam and cassava, cereals, and all these are in commercial quantity. And you can see a man is trying to till the ground there. Farming at the moment is more of manually done. So you see these are done, but I tell you that the produce produced from this are very large and their economic values. And most yams you eat in the UK here are imported from Nigeria. We have, for those of you who are Nigerians or Africans, you have eaten the goosey soup. We are one of the major producers of melon or goosey soup.
And of course, apart from farming, which is a traditional economy, we've also got lots of natural resources, chiefly amongst which is limestone. As you could have heard of Benue Cement Company, these days it's changed its name to Dangote Cement, and many other mineral resources that we've got. People are also known for trading activities. And right from time, we traveled by foot with our wares and our hairs traveling into neighboring markets. And today you have thriving economic activities taking place in the markets that we run, including palm, which is what we're trying to replicate in the UK. What are the current challenges positive family. We've put these challenges in here because we believe that the challenges of today are the opportunities for tomorrow. And Ayatutu will need to come in here to be able to take these opportunities, the opportunities that will transform not just Cleveland and Nigeria as a corporate entity. The first challenge, big challenge we've got is the fact that, like he said, we need mechanized agriculture. We're still manually doing agriculture now, and the yield is not enough. Food is wasted. You can see the oranges there, wasted, and these things have value. They will be preserved and canned and exported. And access to education and healthcare, which is a big problem in our country as a whole. And then land disputes and then infrastructural issues. These are, like I said, opportunities for Ayatutu as well.
Thank you very much. Later on, demanding some people to show us the dance steps. Not just a pictorial representation. We'll have a video clip later. Maybe our ladies here will show us how to dance the swagger. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As we have heard about marketing, and they have successfully marketed TV people to us. I think that's good. Good. And for those who are, if you are single here today, trusting God for a life partner, as we have heard about marketing, maybe it's marketing problem. But we have also heard about positive impact. Whatever you are going to market, make it as a quality product. Not after 3 or 4 kids, your spouse will wake up and say, oh, I've been caught. This is not what was advertised to me. Make sure the product matches the advert. God bless. Please, we want to start moving faster than we were doing because of time. Time is not our friend. Now I'm going to be inviting a gentleman who is going to be speaking about the work of Next Step initiative with Benue State. And this gentleman is the Chief Executive Officer of African Forum Scotland. He has a wealth of knowledge in setting up successful initiatives, both within Scotland and outward, and his work has really impacted other continents, especially Africa. So join me to welcome Mr. Bertus Ayatutu.
I'm not really good at using a microphone, so I would like to speak. Can you hear me behind there? Okay. Good afternoon, distinguished members of the high table, fellow Ayatutu members and friends. Good afternoon. A little bit about the Next Step initiative, then the African Forum Scotland, then talk a little about the work that we are doing in Benue State. The Next Step initiative was set up some 5 years ago in 2009, and the whole vision was based on my own personal experience. I strongly believe that any social and cultural agenda has to be fully supported by strong and robust economic and sustainable platform. And the vision of the Next Step initiative was simple, looking at what is happening around Scotland, particularly with a lot of African communities around, where we are good at forming community groups. The way it comes in addressing the issues of employment, health, housing issues, there are a lot of issues with that. So the whole focus was to set a far more strategic platform that will work with the community at the grassroots level, but equally work with policymakers at very high level. Because through that way we can influence change and bring meaningful development within our community. And as a result of that, we have developed a range of projects, one of which is radio and TV Kilimanjaro, which reach around the world. And that particular piece of work have been recognized right to the heart of the World Bank and the African Union. In fact, the 50th anniversary of the African Union, we were personally invited by the chair of the African Union to cover that particular event, which will have full coverage, and you can watch on our website. We equally covered the ministers' meeting in Kampala on sustainable development and energy security some 4 months ago. So that's some of the impact of some of the work that we have done. The other project is the climate change project, which I will not talk much about. We are the first ethnic minority organization across Scotland to have developed a pioneering energy project that look at fuel poverty, climate change, and sustainable development at grassroots level. And that work was recognized at the heart of government, which then led to me being appointed as one of the advisors to government on this particular issue, on how government can work with communities to develop pioneering projects, particularly looking on fuel poverty and climate change. So I will not talk more on that. My colleague will talk on that. We also have the Coming to Scotland project. It was interesting that reading way back, I realized that Africans have been here since the 13th century, right from the time of the Tanistry system. A very little capture in terms of this heritage, which is very important in terms of how that impact on public policy, which therefore impact on opportunities that comes within our communities. So that project captures the stories of African pioneers across Scotland, which is going to be archived nationally and become a very important resource for not only education, people interested in education, but equally for policymakers, and hopefully that should embed into policy and thinking. We also have the business incubation hub, which we have just created, and the whole aspect is to try and nurture ideas and thinking from people. If you have ideas, be supported on how that ideas can become real, because at the end of the day, we are very important actors. We should not only be thinking of maybe having public service job or certain job. We have to think of creating things within ourselves, and through that, making the impact. That's a little bit about the Next Step initiative, which I will not go much. There's information on the table for you to get. Now, with regard to the African Forum Scotland, I would like to acknowledge two people here. First, Pastor Festus, who has made a very important role in terms of the development of that organization. And I know Chinese, who is the choir as well. The real vision of the African Forum was to look at how we create meaningful developmental links between Scotland and Africa on a practical level, not theoretical level. We have lived here, we have seen what other communities, particularly the Asian communities, have done. Again, going back to the 13th century where we came here, the Asians were not here, reading from that of the Tanistry system. And it's amazing in terms of how society is seeing us today, that we are the new community. We are not the new community. We are not. So the focus is on trade, to see how we can open meaningful trade links between Scotland and Africa. And the second, I for one believe that where there's no platform for recognition, there is no inspiration. And so true, we have our annual award programs where we recognize Africans, individuals who have impacted on African community, institutions that have impacted on African communities globally. And we had the first award program last year in November with about 500 delegates at Crown Plaza. This year the award will be on the 22nd of November and will be chaired by the president of Sierra Leone and with other dignitaries. So through this particular piece of work, we had the annual Scotland Investment Conference, which we held in partnership with Glasgow Caledonian University. And the whole aspect was to develop some thinking behind this and look some ideas and best practices, because there are good things happening around. And through that, one of our speakers was your governor, Dr. Suso Gabriel, who came and spoke on agriculture and the challenges that the state was facing. So as a result of that, we facilitated a high-level discussion between the Glasgow Caledonian University and the Benue State government. And that led to Dr. Franklin being sent by the university to Benue State University, Makati, to initiate that discussion on how both universities can work in partnership, particularly looking at making education, some aspect of education affordable and real within Benue State and improving the quality of that education. I'm also pleased to say that we now have the intellectual right to represent the European Foundation for Quality Management in the whole of Africa, and we have zoned that the west of Africa headquarters will be in Nigeria, and I'll talk a little bit about Benue State and the significance of that. North of Africa, the headquarters will be in Cairo. East of Africa, the headquarters will be in Kenya. Central Africa in Cameroon, and in East Africa, South Africa, Johannesburg. Now, the European Foundation for Quality Management is a very important tool to drive excellence and quality in not only organization and business. It's a very highly distinguished accreditation, international accreditation. Myself, I'm an accredited assessor within that board. As a result again of the visit, Quality Scotland is the national organization that represents the EFQM for Scotland, and that drives business excellence across Scotland, including Scotland universities. So we have been contacted again by the Benue State University to look at how we can drive meaningful reform in terms of efficiency, in terms of quality across the whole ministries, which that work is currently going as I'm speaking. The other bit as well is looking at fair trade. Benue State being an agricultural state, that's called a food basket in Nigeria. I mean, two products that are very in high demand in the market and in short supply are groundnut and sesame. And these are some of the products that Benue State produces. So we are working with Fair Trade UK to carry out some accreditation where some cooperatives in Benue State become Fair Trade registered, and through that way, we'll start exporting groundnut to UK, and we have already secured buyer for the UK market. So these are some of the work that is going on. Now, linking that with the Center of African Policy Development and Research, which again goes beyond linking with the Makati University, and also linking with the ABU. We're having the chairman and the board of governors of ABU visiting us in October to look how part of that center will be established in ABU, be equally established in Makati State University. So without taking much of your time, we have the Scotland Nigeria Investment Conference. It's supposed to have been this September, but because of other things we have pushed to January. Benue State will be used as a case study in this conference, particularly looking at the quality assurance and what impact that have made within Benue State. And that conference will be opened by Goodluck Jonathan, the President of Nigeria. So thank you very much.
Another round of applause. Thank you very much. I want to believe that in this room today, we are getting loads and loads of information. But it depends on what we do with the information. Maybe you are here today, or you're being here today, it's a kind of answer to the prayer you prayed in church last Sunday or last month. Please, this is not just another meeting. Loaded in this auditorium are resource persons, human resources, people that can really take your life forward. Just have a chat with them before you go. That's the essence of being here today. They can either give meaning to your vision, or they can help you to find your vision to flame. If you take time to identify them as they are located in different points in this room today. speaker wants would like to just say something.
I just forgot to mention that we are currently, as a result of the pioneering work within the radio, we are asked by the government to help revamp and update the Benue State Radio and Television to digital. And that's something we are currently doing as well within Benue State. I just forgot to mention that.
Thank you. At this juncture, I will be handing over to my colleague and anchor, who will be taking things further. But before I do that, I was searching for something on a program, and I found it on the last item, which is FOOD. FOOD, food. I believe once there is food, it may be getting food, so we are going to rush through the remaining part of this program for today. But join me to welcome the next anchor person, Pastor Ralph Mogi.
Thank you very much, Pastor Francis. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everybody that is here, I'm so grateful to be part of this forum today, and I've benefited a lot. And I'm sure, even as time goes by, you yourself as well, to the end of it, you will say, surely it was all worth it. And without taking more time, I would want to welcome for us to go to the next step. And so far, the things that we've had so many good things of what this organization of Ayatutu is doing. And there is a feedback that we want to hear so far from one of the person that has really felt that it is worthwhile mentioning so that he can encourage everybody else that is here on joining and putting our minds together in actually registering and going on with the forum. And I want to take this pleasure to invite the person. He is a professor. He's a professor at the University of California, Professor Nemeka Go. So you can tell my accent is from the other side of Africa. But I hope I mentioned it properly. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm very happy with the title, Professor, but I'm not yet there, but I'm sure very soon. For this occasion, let me enjoy it for a little bit, because I'm not in the high time. Anyway, thank you very much. I remember the last speech that Clinton had. They asked him what he has to say about Monica Lewinsky. And he was shocked, and he didn't know what he said. He was good. And I'm very happy being here, but I'm not happy because there are so many beautiful women and girls here. I'm very happy because it's going to be a night like Tiffany. And I know that a lot of the speakers have been mentioning different things. And I know Professor Ibe mentioned that you have to know how to sell your products. And one of the things that people sell very well, one of the products that they sell very well is their honesty and sincerity. And I know before I continue, I'm not from Benue State, but I've had a very touching and lasting relationship with Benue, with Tiv people. And for that, let me greet people in Tiv language, and I say, Upandavel. I know that some of us that go to church very well, we believe in divine intervention. But people that don't go to church, there's an English word called serendipity, that is positive accident. And I know in 1996, I had a positive accident with a teeth man. And since that time, my life has not been the same thing. And I remember when he was talking about sponsoring people or identifying with somebody. And since I met the person from teeth from Vandikia precisely, my life has not been the same thing. So the main reason why I came here today is to identify with two people, and to say that other people that are not really related with them. But I can say that they're one of the most trustworthy and sincere human beings in Nigeria. And I wouldn't hesitate to be a member of Bambam. And the reason why we want to be a member is because over the past 15 years, I've related with different people from Tifland, and I've never had any doubt about their sincerity and honesty. And for that reason, I would encourage anybody here that wants to be a member, I shouldn't hesitate. I believe that it's something that is going to last for a very long time. And what I want to talk to you today is about what is called sponsorship. I want the Bambam people to actually try to sponsor people. And what I mean by sponsorship, I learned it when I was reading a book written by Condoleezza Rice, the former U.S. Secretary of State. And in that book, she said that the main reason why she climbed to the ladder she got was because somebody identified her and believed in her capabilities. And since that time that they identified her, that they supported her to get to the top, to the highest level in American bureaucracy. And the person that has identified me is a chief person. And since he identified me, he has continued to support me till this moment. Let me also say that, as Albertus mentioned, I was in Makurdi in June to talk with Benue State University. I was there to see how we can have a partnership so that we can bring people from Benue to come and learn in Caledonia. And people in Caledonia can also go to Benue and learn one or two things. But let me say that even though I was there for a mission to my university, the hospitality I received from Benue actually made me to start forgetting why I went to Benue. And after some time, after eating pounded yam in the evening, I actually called my mom and said, I'm actually rethinking of maybe doing something that she might not really accept. But that if she eats the pounded yam I just finished, I'm sure she will agree with me that it might not be a bad idea to look around Benue and consummate a relationship with Benue. So the reason why I'm saying that the people from the Bambam people, in terms of sponsorship, is very, very important. As I look around, I see Professor Ibe, Professor Omo, Pastor Beltus. There are so many Obamas here and there are so many professors here. I saw a little boy taking pictures as we are doing this. So what I want you guys to do is to search around. I'm sure you will see some people. When I was at Benue State University, I saw so many talents because I talked to so many lecturers, the students, and other groups in the school. Now, through Bambam, I'm sure you can identify 5 people, Obamas, Professor Ibez and Obos and Beltus, and anybody here. We've all got our different talents. And through them, we can actually sponsor them and help them. And I believe in them. Because the person that actually helped me, as I said, is a chief person. I've lectured at the University of Salford, University of Manchester, Northumbria University. I'm now in Caledonia. And without the help of a chief man, that would not have been possible. So what I'm saying is that you guys should help and make sure that invited here in the different villages of Benue and in the different villages of Tifland, they are very, very good people, very intelligent, capable, that you should support. I am willing to contribute in this kind of ventures to enable people to become more, to have more Bambam and more professors and more good people from Benue State. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Shall we give him a better applause, please? For such It is wonderful to hear these wonderful, encouraging ones to know, surely, like what he's just reiterated about Obama and his catchphrase that yes we can. It is very worth noting that surely even here in Scotland, as this community and other African communities, yes we can. And I am going to move to the next part and to the next person who is going to come and share with us and encourage us and tell us what it is like to be here in Scotland and to be a person that is optimistic and to take a step and bold step of faith and venture in the world and make it and encourage us and put a stamp of who we are and surely make it here in Scotland. This is none other as a person I know very well. He has been an encouragement to me and many people, and most of us that live here in Scotland, they will agree. He is an engineer by profession, he's a technologist in GE, and as well, he has a strong faith in his engineering career and has founded and established a very successful business here in Scotland. And I want to take this pleasure and welcome my brother, Dr. Isaac, to come and give us a present.
Good evening, distinguished guests, Ayatutu, I'm so privileged to be here to speak about overcoming cultural barriers and establishing business. As we heard how to make our skills marketable. I will not go into the theory. I'm not so familiar with theory. I do this and I do well when I go into the practical stuff. So I would like to talk about the practical stuff. Overcoming cultural barriers and establishing business. As we all know, a barrier is something that comes between two people so that they can reach each other. It's like a wall. And as we all know as well, the culture is a population's identity. So the cultural barrier now is a wall that comes between two people because of difference in identity, such as language, religion, emotion, and behavior. If you hear me properly, you will catch my accent. I'm not from an English-speaking country. I'm from Ivory Coast and I speak, my first language is French. So English was a cultural barrier for me. And despite these existing barriers or cultural barriers, I came across some time ago a statement in the Bible, in the book of Revelation. And the statement sounds like this: behold, I have put or I have set an open door before you, and no man can shut it. Revelation 3:8. So I came to understand that nobody whatsoever, nothing whatsoever can stop me going into that door, even not the cultural barriers. The demon can, the devil cannot. So the only person that can do that is myself. And I decided not to stop myself. So I walked with myself. So coming back to the topic, how can establishing business help to overcome cultural barriers? And as I mentioned, I think it's more relevant for me to go into practical stuff, speak about what I've gone through. That will make more sense for you, I believe, and for me. Because the practical stuff is me. And I would like to talk about my own experience because I've been through the process. And most of my friends, if not all of them, believe that I've overcome the barriers. I will speak about 4 or 5 points. And I will elaborate them and explain how I went through my journey. The first point is identify the right business at the right time. In fact, I came to the UK in 2002, precisely in October. And I discovered that when you want to eat African food, the Rashid place called Solid. It was a small place where everything was starting out somehow. And the customer service was somehow. And
And I was even sitting there because I wanted to grab a bit of African food. As soon as I stepped in, I got the shock of my life. I was so discouraged by what I saw. And I quickly remembered what I saw in Paris in France. There's a long street in Paris in France called Chateau Rouge, where you find all the African shops, all the African stuff brought by the Chinese, hired the African to sell the stuff to Africans. In fact, and in short, we lost it in France. The market is not in our hands. So when I saw it here in Glasgow, it quickly came to my mind that I need to do something. Otherwise, we'll be in the same position like in Paris. And I remember very clearly as it was today, but it was some time ago. I told my wife, she was my friend at that time, she's now my wife. I told her, I go for it. I'm going to take the market from the hands of a slave. And she looked at me. Are you sick? She asked me. I remember very well. And I was right. And I said very clearly to her. And I remember clearly, if I don't do it, we have lost it. Because that was the right time. So, the first thing is to understand that you are at the right time and you have the right business. The second thing is adopt a can-do attitude. Nothing can stop you getting access to that door that is open for you to move on in life. Nothing can stop you. You have to reject the idea that you cannot do it because you are blind, because you don't have enough experience. Skills are transferable because you are not smart enough. Who said so? Because you are not good enough. Who told you? You are from an engineering background. You want to go into, servicing. Two different skills. And I looked at her and I asked her, what did you do before becoming? And I advised her. She told me she had a business, a bad business, but it failed. I said, no wonder. You can't give me what you don't have. My skills can be transferred. And I rejected the ideas. And I never put my legs back to the business game. I convinced myself that I can do it. And I went for it. So reject the I can't do it. Adopt the I can do attitude. The third point is to organize the community. Get the community together. My first or my primary market was an African market. So I thought about how to organize the community. I was new in town. I was not even known by all the Ivorians. The Nigerians didn't know. The Ghanaians didn't know. The Kenyans didn't know. Where to start? I started going to all the functions. I remember I went to several times to the Nigerian fellowship with Pastor Abba. I went to the Ghanaian activities, to the Congolese, just to make myself known, just to penetrate the circles, to talk to people, to sell my ideas. And the responses were, yes, go for it. We need this one, we need that one, we need this one. And I was busy collecting the information. Yes, I did it. I organized according to the information, organized what was needed. And I went to the Glasgow City Council as well, asked for the numbers of African here, according to their origin. Was he West African, East African, South African, to map up my strategy. And I got the response few days later from the Glasgow City Council, and the Nigerian community was the biggest.
third the Congolese community. Yes. Then I set up the business in January 2004. The first half I brought from London was mostly the Nigerian products. What I failed to realize is that the Nigerian community, yes, is the biggest, but they have been in town for a long time. So they were now used to survive in the South and test and answer. They were not dependent on the African staff. So it took me a while for the product to move. And I was asking myself, I reviewed my strategies, and I discovered that yes, that was the point that I missed. So where, to get myself on track, I just changed the balance to the Congolese community, which was the third biggest community, but just arrived into town. So I believe that they were still dependent on the staff they used to consume, even the mentality and the environment. They wanted to be the same environment they were before they came. So I understood that I should bring the staff from the Congolese market. And believe me or not, the business took off. And I started bringing and do more of what I was good at until I saturated the market, the demand for the Congolese. And I started now opening the business, not to the Nigerian, but to the South African, Zimbabwe. Later on, came back to Nigeria, expanded to Kenya, East Africa, and then covered most of Africa. But you have to realize that when the community believes in you, and begins to empower you have to help others to come up. Because as Pastor Ogo said, you alone you are vulnerable. You have to help people to be with you on board so that you become a group. That's what Ayatutu is trying to do. You become a united group so that can withstand, the forces from outside. So I started helping some fellow friends, African friends, to set up their businesses in different places in town. And we, in a way, managed to grab most of the market share from the people who claim to be our own, but they are not. The fourth point I wanted to mention is to avoid duplication. Look for complementary ideas. It's not because my brother is good at baking bread, he's doing well in that business, I will come and begin to do the same. And another one will come and begin to do the same. Yes, we will be many doing the same, but the community will not be impacted fully. So if my brother is good at doing African bread, what will come again? What I can do is to begin to import the African flour that my brother can use to do the African food. So we support each other and we are more in business, all of us. So I'm not comparing to my brother. Rather, I help my brother to help me to grow in business. Lastly, and I will finish by this one, is to take advantage of the system. Understand the system where we are in. I mean, take advantage of the system. I had a friend called Stephen, who is now married to Tanzania. He was working in the Scottish Enterprise. That was my insider. I had as well some insiders in the Glasgow City Council. You can't physically make it if you don't have these things. Yes, the Holy Spirit is there, but the length and the system. So I had my links, and especially in the City Council, when newcomers, new Africans are coming to town, they just direct them to me. They just call me. Yes, there's this group coming. supply them, send us to them. And instead of directing them to the other shops or solids who are not ours, I made sure that we are the Africans, we know the needs of Africans. We can supply everything they want. So I was legally accepted to be a supplier. Even when their function supported or funded by the council, I was the one recognized to supply. And I sent my invoice. And then the shakes down later. So it's a good way to make a link inside, to know what is happening before it takes place. You are ahead of the game. So with this point, I hope that these practical examples can help shape our understanding and help us to see really well what to do and where we are going to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. Let's give him a better clap, shall we? It is so good to have someone who has been through it, who has done it and has won the t-shirt and is willing to give us the practical approach on how to become and even to break through in this field. And we are so grateful to have him even in this meeting and to hear the wealth of information that he has, even for each and every individual that is willing to take a step. Now, in this gathering today, we have heard so much about the Ayatutu. It's a nice one, especially when it's being pronounced by an East African. And it's so interesting. I wish all of my people were here to hear this. And I must say, I'm so privileged even to be here, and even to hear and to see the zeal of each and every one of you, and even the organizers and every distinguished guest that is here and is willing to pass us the information, because with this, our community will make it. Now, I don't want to take time on that, but I want us to go to the next step so that we can hear. After hearing all this that we have, how do we become a member of Ayatutu if you are interested? And I'm sure, after everything that we had today, I'm sure most of us will be interested to hear and even to join these forum that is going forward. And with that, I want to invite the person that is going to take us to the step, Mrs. Patience Achapa Iki.
Ayatutu come now. Yeah, we welcome all of you here present this evening. Yeah, a lot has been said about Ayatutu Farm and the team people who have started this farm all together. And I wouldn't take time to talk about Ayatutu and the team people anymore. Now we are going to how we can become a member of Ayatutu Farm. So, yeah, who can be a member of Ayatutu Farm? Anyone can be a member. It doesn't mean, for the fact that the team people started this movement, is not restricted to team people alone. Any member, anybody at all here present or anywhere can become a member of Ayatutu Farm. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter the language where you speak, the language that you speak. You can be a member of Ayatutu Farm. The only thing important is for you to ask these few questions and then give answers to them. Maybe you are currently residing in UK, or you were, but you are now away and you have a UK contact, which is an address. You are above 18 years and you have money and wish to invest in a business or anything at all. You have a business idea and need money to start off, or you want to save money for a project or maybe something to do at the end of the year. then this is an opportunity for you. This is what Ayatutu Ban is all about. It's an opportunity for you to join this movement, this financial movement, to achieve your ends or desire. And it is as easy as A, B, and C. A, you need a registration form, which can be a hard copy here present today, or an electronic copy via your email if provided, or a copy at the website, which is there on the board, that you can just go into it and then get a copy of it. And then the B is that you complete the form and return it. If it is today, you return it to us now by hand, or you return it via the Ayatutu Ban email where it will be processed. And then C, you will bounce in as a member, a full registered member, where you receive a message from the BMC with the details of the operations guidelines and the account details to which you start making your savings. And that is just a lot about it. But there's nothing that you can do here in UK without the little print, because we are here, we know that every business and every organization and movement here in UK has the small print. Therefore, we have the small print as well. The small print, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing hidden there. The most important thing is that there are just things like a new member must be introduced by an existing member. But because we are here, I can introduce you as well. Any member here can introduce you, it doesn't matter, so it's not a big problem. And then the next thing that you must be 18, but even people below 18 can be a member if your parent registered you and is operating your account for you. Otherwise, you must be 18 years or above. And then there's other something like if you want, in case you want to terminate your membership, all you need to do is to write to the BMC and then tell them the reason why you want to terminate, and all your savings or anything will be given back to you, including your dividends, what you have earned in the process of, or in the period that you were a member, except you had a loan, that maybe you took out a loan or anything, except that, or else every other thing will be given back to you. And that is it. And because we are just starting this movement, we welcome, even if you don't want to be a member, we welcome donations and contributions from you. It will be much appreciated. So come one, come all, meet us at the table right behind there and get started. Thank you very much.